Fish passage is essentially anything that's going to let water and organisms up and downstream of either a road crossing, a train crossing, a dam, if that's the case, but I'm focused on road crossings. So I am looking at fish passage use by 2 invasive species and 2 native species in Northern Virginia. So the native species are river herring, which are alewife and blueback herring. They used to be commercially really important to this area, but then they were overfished. And then the 2 invasive species are blue catfish and northern snakehead. And so I'm interested in if these fish are able to use the passages we have in place at road crossings, so where roads cross streams, if they're able to move up and downstream, which for the river herring is really important for their spawning runs. So I'm looking to see if these passages are possible, and then also if they are, which species specifically are using them. And this can be really important for managers to know, because first of all, we want to know which types of passages are most effective, but then secondly, if some passages aren't effective, which ones aren't, and then which species are at each, for managers to use to know where they want to allocate resources, essentially. So if you have somewhere where a native species is present with an invasive species and they both can't pass through, but then you have another location where it's just the native species, you would ideally want to put funds towards that area so that you're allowing the passage of native species but not the further spread of invasives. For me, I think it's really cool to be able to do research that informs management. And so by looking at these fish passages and kind of assessing what's working and what's not, that can help in the future with new passages, as well as knowing which ones to target to use resources as efficiently as possible. And of course, I like to see how humans are impacting systems. So for me, the fish passage thing is kind of cool because we want to have humans and wildlife interacting in a positive way, that we want to have the least impact on them as we can. So the implementing fish passages is a way that we can do that, letting nature still take its course while we're kind of coexisting together. So I think it's an interesting idea.